Hello beautiful people, and how are you all doing? In this tutorial video we'll be making this beautiful scrunchies fabric headband. If this is what you're interested in learning, please sit back, relax, and let's get straight into the video. For this particular tutorial guys, we'll be making use of our scissors. The material, you can either use an Ankara material or any kind of material you please to use. Then we'll be using our elastic band. You can either use both big one or a smaller one depending on what you want. Then your tape roll, and of course the kind of material you want to use for the scrunchies. So to start with guys, we'll have to take the measurement of the frontal part of the scrunchies. For this particular one, I use the length of it should be 30 inches wide and then a length of 7 inches, depending on how ruffled you want your scrunchies to look. So after measuring that, you cut it out. That's for the front part of the scrunchies. And if you observe closely, you will see that the back part has an elastic band, so we have to cut out the part for the elastic band. Please note, for this tutorial I cut out this particular piece, but with time I had to increase it because I noticed that it is based on the wideness of the head. That's the round measurement of the head, so that it will be able to fold together and then be much more elastic. You get to see that in the tutorial. So we need two pieces, the piece for the elastic and then the piece to turn off the frontal part, the piece for the lining of the frontal part. So as you can see, I'm rechecking my measurements and yes, I have 30. So we go straight into turning it into 2 so that we can stitch it. So you take it to your sewing machine and stitch it at the edges, just like you can see I'm illustrating in the video. Now this piece was supposed to be for the elastic band, and then so you have to stitch the piece for the elastic band also. That's for the back part of the scrunchies, because the elastic band will have to go into that piece of fabric, and then the second little piece will have to go into the frontal part in order for it to be ruffled, just like you're seeing that I've illustrated there. So you can see I've taken it to the sewing machine and I've actually sewn it. You can see how it's looking. So the next thing you want to do guys is to turn it to the outer part. You have to turn both the bigger one and the smaller one to the outer part. The bigger one, which is for the front scrunchies, and the back parts, which is for the elastic band. So guys, you can actually see for the elastic band I've increased the material I used. I added to the length of the material I used. And for the second piece that I'll be using for the front part, I also added to the material I'm going to be using. So the next thing you want to do guys is to iron these materials in order for it to look very, very neat. You have to iron it. Now you insert the rubber into the back part, as into the small piece of fabric. Just like you can see I've done here. So the next thing you want to do is to insert the second piece into this particular front part of the fabric. So after doing that, you want to take it straight to the sewing machine to sew the edges, both for this one and the rubber parts. That's the elastic part of the other one. You have to sew the edges down so it don't come out, just like you've seen I'm showing you right there. You can actually pin it down so the rubber does not get to go out of it. So as you can see, I've actually sewn it. I've taken it to the sewing machine and you can see how it's looking. You can see how it's looking, right? I hope you understand what I'm trying to illustrate there though. So the next thing you want to do is take it to the sewing machine and sew the edges together, just like you've seen I'm illustrating there. So what you want to do is to cut out the excesses from the joinings, so it's going to look very neat. You can see we already have our scrunchies. We're only trying to make it look neater. Yeah, you can see how cute this little crunch is looking. You can see how cute it is looking. You can see our headband is coming out very sweet. Yeah, if you find this video educative and very easy to understand, please do well to like this video, share this video, drop a comment on what you feel. Please make sure you drop a comment on the kind of DIY you love to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.